Ugh, stupid writer's block. Why do you think I don't have hair anymore? Welcome to SkillUp Academy. In today's training session, I'm going to show you my 5 favorite ways to find inspiration for your writing on your blog. Are you guys excited? Super excited. This is going to be incredible. For you guys watching the recording of the live training session, don't forget to subscribe below. And we're going to do more live training sessions on writing, so you're not going to want to miss them out. For people here today, thank you for joining. This is going to be a lot of fun, so I hope you enjoy. All right, I'm going to start with the first one. Got paper this time around. Browse Quora. Here. Browse Quora. So you guys know Quora? Yeah, Quora is for people watching that don't know what it is, it's basically a website where people ask questions and people answer questions. It's really that simple, but it's one of the most popular websites on the web, and basically it's a great source of inspiration for articles that you may want to write. So the idea is that you go on Quora, you use the search bar, and you search for things that you're interested in, that you think you have something to add. So, for example, with this presentation that I'm doing today, I could go on Quora and ask and search for find inspiration, blog, or blogging, or writing, or things like that. And then it would list a bunch of questions that people have asked for these specific things. And I don't know how many there are every second, but there's tons of questions being asked there. And a lot of them are actually super good. So when you do these searches, you go through and you try to find one that's popular. So you can find that through how many people answered, how many comments there are to these answers. These are incredible ways to find inspiration for your next articles. I know a lot of people that started off on Medium that were actually getting their inspiration from Quora. So once you get the inspiration from Quora, you can write on Medium or on your own blog, and then you can link back to it. So you write on Quora after, and then link to your Medium article. So it's a loop of traffic. So you get traffic and inspiration. Anyone was using Quora for inspiration before? Ready for number 2? Number 2. Man, I have a hard time with this camera. All right. Do things outside of work. A lot of people wake up, they have breakfast really quickly. Not like slow breakfast, fast breakfast. They go to commute to work or to school. They come back late, and then they cook dinner, they eat, they wash the dishes. And then by the time they're done with all that, they basically don't have much time. So they watch Netflix and they go to bed. So if I would do the same thing, I would probably lack inspiration as well, because inspiration comes from the things that you do. So if you keep doing the same things over and over again, obviously you're going to run out of topics very quickly. So what do you guys do outside of work? Some examples that I have on top of my head are going to meetups that you find on meetup.com, couchsurfing events, Toastmasters, practicing sports, just going outside and running, jogging, biking, playing basketball, playing soccer, whatever sport is popular in your country. All these things inspire you to write different things and have new topic ideas. So if you meet new people, if you do different things, that was hard, different things. All right, ready for number 3? I'm going to try to position this one properly this time. All right. Consume quality content. What do I mean by that? Cocaine. I don't mean cocaine. Man, I gotta keep saying all the stuff that you write. No, don't consume cocaine, though I guess it might work for some people. But what I mean by that is put into your brain things that actually help you find inspiration. So that's reading quality books, listening to good podcasts, watching interesting YouTube videos that teach you something and inspire you to do things. One example was an article I wrote recently. I think it was 2 months ago. It was called Learning and Grow Rich, 7 Skills of Wealthy People. And in that article, the inspiration basically came from 2 books. And I'm going to show you these 2 books. If you wait 2 seconds for me. These 2 books. All right. Think and Grow Rich, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Skill 1, have money. Yeah. Well, having is not really a skill. It has to be an action. But these 2 books, Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad, Poor Dad, was basically my inspiration for that article. And I'm glad I read these books because I did write the article and it did pretty good. And before, on top of reading books, podcasts are also amazing. When I initially started writing back in January 2018, so a bit more than a year ago, I was going to work. I was in Spain, and I was listening to my podcasts, and most of it were the Tim Ferriss Show. And that show is really good to get inspiration because there's always guests on the podcast, and they have different backgrounds, and it's always someone different that did something pretty amazing. So you get one person's opinion on a topic, but you also get Tim's opinion on the topic as well. So while you listen to that, you create your own opinion or you realize your own opinion on a topic they're talking about. And that's actually really good inspiration for something to write. Because when you write something, you don't have to have the answers. I rarely have the answers. A lot of my articles that I write are meant to be inspirational in some way. So I show you some of the stuff I've done, but I never pretend that it's the best way to do things. So I always try to be upfront that, you know what, this is my way of doing things. This is how I did it, but here's how you can implement it for yourself and experiment for yourself. Always experiment for yourself. So podcasts, books, YouTube videos, tutorials, all that stuff. All right, number 4. Become more observant. So what I mean by that is by the age of 12, it has been proven that we lose most of our curiosity and creativity. And the reason for that is because when you go to school, instead of helping you with your creativity, they tell you this is what you should be doing, and this is how you should study for the test. And you don't have to think anymore. They just tell you, this is it, this is it, this is it. Just follow that, and you're going to be fine. And the problem is real life doesn't work that way. And we go to school for a long time. And because of that, we basically lose a lot of our curiosity and creativity. So we got to get that back. If I'm showing you this object here, water bottle, can you think of an article to write just by looking at this water bottle? Anyone? An ad? No. Come on, there's plenty of things you can write about a water bottle, okay? So when I see this water bottle, I can think of many things, okay? Yeah, why drinking water makes you healthier. Exactly. There's a lot of benefits to drinking water. You could write an article about the importance of drinking water as soon as you wake up. Why not? Right? Drinking water is part of living. So if you take that concept, you can think about any life lessons. Water is life lessons. Hey, here's the topic. On top of that, I bring this water bottle whenever I do sports, whenever I go to the gym, whenever I ride my bicycle. So I could write an article about physical health, about a specific sport, about a workout routine that I'm doing. Yeah, one object, infinite ideas. But outside of that, outside of the obvious ones, so one way to increase your creativity is to look at an object and think about different ways you can actually use it that are creative. So again, if we look at this water bottle, here are some ideas, okay? And if you have ideas, put them in the chat as well. But imagine you can use that as a hammer, right? Why not? You can use that as a hammer. You can use it to hold the door that's closing on you. You can use that as a rolling pin. You can Let's say you're in the woods, you're getting attacked by a bear. You can use it as a weapon. Why not? What else? You can put soup in there. You can put any types of liquid, but probably not something too hot because it will melt because it's plastic. But yeah, put some liquids in there, soups. Anything else, guys? And with that, I'm going to take a sip of water. Yeah, so that's one thing. And one other example is when I was living in India. That was about a year ago now. So I was coming back from work, taking a tuk-tuk. And every day I would see the same guy at the same corner of the street selling bananas on his cart. And that made me think, you know what? This guy's always there. He's making a living selling one item at the very same spot, and it's working. That makes me think on the marketing side. How can we get there? How can we be in the right place, selling the right thing at the right moment, and constantly do that? So just seeing this guy selling bananas gave me so many ideas of things to think about when it came to marketing. And then I did some research, and then eventually that gives me good enough ideas to write about those once I implement them. One more stupid thing that happened when I was in India is I bought a new notebook, and I didn't really pay attention to what I was buying. As you can probably tell, my favorite color is orange. So I bought an orange book, and that I didn't think further. But it turns out that after looking at it a few days after, my notebook inspired me for things to write. This just sounds ridiculous. So when you're observant like that, you realize that anything around you can actually inspire you. So I'm going to show you why. See that text? If you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. There you go. I think I was reading that in a moment that I wanted to quit something. I think it was my Viking boutique store or something. And you know what? I slept on it. I thought about ideas on how to improve it. And I did try a bunch of the ideas. It still failed. Okay. Still failed. But at least I tried a bit further. But then I flipped the page. And look at this. A bunch of cool quotes right there. Believe in yourself. Tough times never last, but tough people do. So be tough, guys. All right? Be tough. Observe things around you, and that's going to give you tons of inspiration. You could just go outside, just sit on the bench and watch around you. You're going to see people run. You're going to see parents, how they handle their parenthood, how they handle their child, how they react to their child getting hurt, and things like that. And you're going to think of things that you would potentially do differently, or things you haven't thought about that you would try to implement. Just observe. It's an amazing, amazing way to get inspiration. Be bald. Yeah. Feels good. Being bald feels good. Ready for number 5? Oh, yeah. Numero 5. Answer a question from your audience. So, if you've been writing for a bit, not too long, but still just a few articles, chances are you got comments from your readers. And a lot of times these comments are questions to you based on the article that you read. So they ask a question on, how would you do this? I'm in this situation. How would you do that? And most of the time, the answer is not short. It's not a simple answer. Otherwise, they wouldn't be asking it. So that's a great time to just stop there and think about the answer and see how you can turn that into a full-on article, or even sometimes a series of articles. Most of my early inspiration came from this and the Tim Ferriss show. Just listening to what my users wanted me to tell them. So I would write an article to answer the question, and I would reply back to the person and link to the article. I think I may have done that with you, Remus. I'm not sure. I've done that with some of my readers, and I probably wrote at least 30 or 40 articles just using that technique. But if you don't have an audience yet, so if you're just starting out and you haven't really gotten people to comment on your articles yet, make your surroundings your audience. So what I mean by that is realize that in your day-to-day life, your friends, your family, your people you surround yourself with are asking you questions on a regular basis. And if you do answer them, it's proof that you have something to say on the topic. So realize the questions and answers that happen. How's the weather? You know what? I could probably write an article on the weather. I actually did write an article on the weather. It was when I came back to Canada last year in February. It was really cold. I came from Spain. I spent all winter there, and I came back in the middle or at the end of the winter. So I actually did write an article on the weather. So any topic can actually work. Okay. So, but try to get questions that are a bit more complicated than that. But you get the point. All right. Or questions not necessarily addressed to you. You walk around, go to work, go to school, and you walk or you commute, and then you listen to conversations. Chances are that some people are asking other people questions, and they answer these questions, and then you probably have your own opinion on that. So these were the 5 ways. I actually wrote an article a while back that was 21 different ways. But I believe that with just these 5, you can start writing and have a lot of inspiration, not have to think too much when you start your day and start writing. This will flow a lot better because the more things you do outside of work, the more inspiration you're going to get. So you don't need to write that down. This is already there. Same with consuming quality content like books, podcasts, videos, and the more curiosity and creativity that you increase for yourself, the easier it will be for you to start writing new articles. All right. Which one of these tips do you guys already use? What are your own tips on finding inspiration? If you're watching this session recorded, put that in the comment. I'm interested in learning how you guys are actually finding inspiration for anything on your blog or Medium or anything else that you write about. You're going to notice, especially on Medium, is that people don't write about things they necessarily know, and that's not all bad. For example, these 2 books that I read, I did write an article on how to be wealthy, and I'm not the wealthiest guy around. I do make a living writing every day, but I basically stood upon the shoulders of giants. So I took their word for it, and they have proven principles, and I shared that with my audience. So as long as you don't pretend when you write the article, as long as you don't pretend that you know everything and this comes from you and this is the best tip you can ever give, as long as you give credit to the source that you found it from and why you believe that this is great and why you're doing that for yourself, I don't think you need to have much knowledge on a topic you write about. There's a lot of people that also just write their opinion on something, and this is completely valid. An opinion is not necessarily based on knowledge. All right, guys, this was SkillUp Academy. Today you learned my 5 favorite ways to find inspiration to write on your blog. I hope this was helpful. If you're watching the recorded version of this, please subscribe. Please like the video. There is going to be more videos coming up on the skill of writing and other skills as well. So you're not going to want to miss that. There is going to be one of Medium's top writer in many categories who's going to come live with us next week. You may know him. His name's Ayodeji. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. We're going to do an interview style training session. So it's going to be very interactive, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think you're going to learn a lot. So Don't miss that one. So check out skillup-academy.com to find all the events coming up, as well as sign up if you want to join in the live training session. All right. See you tomorrow.